In this video, what we're going to look on is how we add and subtract algebraic fractions. So the first example we have here is x divided by 2 plus x over 3 plus x over 6. Now what you would need to do is to find a common denominator of all these denominators here. And one common denominator of 2, 3, and 6 would be 6. Common denominator means they are common multiple of the denominators. So we're focusing on the lowest common multiple, right? Now you're going to take each denominator here to divide the common denominator, and the result you're going to take it to multiply the numerator. So 2 into 6, that's going to give me 3. So I'm going to take that 3 to multiply my numerator of x here. So I'm going to write it here, and I'm going to put it into a bracket, right? Then I'm going to put my plus sign here. Then 3 into 6, that's 2. I'm going to take the 2 to multiply my numerator, which is x in this case. So it's going to be 2 times x. And put that in a bracket as well. Then 6 into 6, that's going to give me 1. I'm going to take that 1 to multiply my numerator of x. So it's going to be 1 times x. At this stage, you're going to carry out the multiplication. So 3 times x, that's going to give us 3x. So I write it here. Put back my plus sign. 2 times x, that's going to give me 2x. Put back my plus sign. And 1 times x, that's going to give me x. And all of this should be over my common denominator of 6. So I put back over 6. Now note that 3x, 2x, and x are like terms. That means they can be combined to give one term. So 2x plus 3x, that's going to give me 5x, plus 1 more x, that's going to give me 6x. So it's going to be 6x over 6. Note that we can divide by 6 here, so we can cancel out the 6. So 6 will cancel out 6 here. So what we're left back with is just x. And we're finished. Now to the next one. We have 3 over 5x plus 4 over 7x minus 2 over 5x. First, we need to determine a common denominator of all these denominators. Right? So one common denominator would be 35x. Right? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take each denominator here to divide our common denominator and take the result to multiply the respective numerator. So 5x into 35x, that's going to give us 7. We're going to take that 7 to multiply the numerator of 3 here. And we'll put that in our bracket. Put back our plus sign. 7x into 35x, that's going to give us 5. We're going to take that 5 to multiply the numerator 4. So it's going to be 5 times 4. And we'll put that in a bracket as well. Put back our subtraction sign. And then 5x into 35x, that's going to give us 7. And we're going to take the 7 to multiply our numerator 2. So it's going to be 7 times 2. I will put that in a bracket as well. At this stage, we're going to carry out the multiplication. So 7 times 3, that's going to give us 21. Put back our plus sign. 5 times 4, that's going to give us 20. back our subtraction sign. And 7 times 2, that's going to give us 14. And all of this should be over our denominator of 35. 35x, sorry. So now we can combine our numerator to give one term. So 20 minus 14, that's going to leave us with positive 6. And positive 6 plus 20, that's going to give us 27. So our final answer is going to be 27 over 35x. To our next problem, we have 5x over 9y minus 7y over 6x. So now we want a common denominator for 9y and 6x. So that would be 18x y. Alright? So 9y into 18xy, that's going to be 2x. Alright? So we're going to take that 2x, and we're going to multiply our numerator of 5x. Alright? And we'll put that in a bracket. Back our subtraction sign. Now we're going to take 6x to divide 18xy, and that's going to give us 3y. So we're going to take the 3y to multiply our numerator, which is 7y here. Then we carry out the multiplication. So 2x times 5x, that's going to give us 10x squared. All you do, you just take 2 to multiply 5. So 2, 5, that's 10. And x times x, that's x squared. Put back our minus sign here. So we're going to multiply 3y times 7y. So 3 times 7, that's 21. And y times y, that's just y squared. And all of this should be placed over our common denominator, which is 18xy. At this stage, the fraction is already in its lowest term. This term is 10x squared, which is different from 21y squared. So we cannot simplify this fraction any further. So that is our answer there. Now for this problem, we have 7m minus 3n divided by 7, subtract 2m minus 5n divided by 3. So here again, we need to find a common denominator. And a common denominator of 7 and 3 would be 21. We're going to take 7 to divide 21. So 7 into 21, that's going to give us 3. We're going to take that 3 to multiply our numerator here. Now, all we're going to do is to put 3, put a bracket, and write the numerator in there, which is 7m minus 3n. Note that this bracket implies multiplication, right? Put back our subtraction sign. And 3 into 21, that's going to give us 7. And we're going to take that 7 to multiply our numerator, which is 2m minus 5n. Now at this stage, we're going to carry out the multiplication. But whenever you have a problem that looks like this one, you have to remember the distributive law. So you're going to have to apply the distributive law at this stage, meaning that we're going to take this 3 to multiply each term inside of the first bracket, and because there's a minus sign here, we have to treat this 7 as a -7. So we're going to take this -7 to multiply each term inside of the second bracket here. So I'm drawing the arrow to show. So it's going to be 3 times 7m. That's going to give us 21m. Then 3 times minus 3n, that's going to give us minus 9n, or -9n. Now remember to treat this 7 as a -7, so it's going to be -7 times a positive 2m, and that's going to give us a -14m. Then it's going to be a -7 times a -5n, and that's going to give us a positive 35n. And all of this should be placed over our common denominator of 21. At this stage, what you're going to do is to group all the like terms, right? So we have some terms that has m, and we have some terms that have n. So you're going to group the like terms. So let me underline the like terms. So here 21m is a like term to minus 14m. All right, and you can see that minus 9n is a like term to positive 35n. So we're going to group the like terms at this stage. So I'm going to start off with the m first. So it's going to be 21m. Now minus 14m. Then I'm going to put the positive term first. So it's going to be plus 35n minus 9n. And we put back our common denominator of 21. So at this stage, we're going to just combine our like terms. So 21m minus 14m, that's going to leave us with 7m. And positive 35n minus 9n, that's going to leave us with a positive 26n. And all of this should be divided by our common denominator of 21. At this stage, we cannot combine online terms, so this is our final answer. The fraction here is already in its lowest term. For this question, what we're going to do, we have a 5 outside here multiplying everything inside of the bracket, and we also have a 4 outside of this bracket multiply everything inside of a bracket. So before we even think about finding a common denominator, what we're going to do is to use the distributive law first. So we are going to take this 5 to multiply the 2x, and then we take the 5 to multiply the positive 1. Then we are going to take this 4 to multiply the x, and we're going to take the 4 to multiply -3. All right, so let's do that. So 5 times 2x, that's going to give us 10x. 5 times positive 1, that's going to give us positive 5. And all of that should be placed over 2. Work our plus sign. And we're going to distribute 4 to each term. So 4 times x, that's going to give us 4x. And 4 times minus 3, that's going to give us minus 12. And all of this should be placed over 3. From here now, we're going to find a common denominator of 3 and 2. And that's going to be 6 in this case. We're going to take 2 to divide 6, so 2 into 6, that's 3. We're going to take 3 to multiply our numerator, but because our numerator is written as a sum, we're going to put a bracket and then write 10x plus 5 and close our bracket. Note here, the bracket implies multiplication. So this is saying we are taking 3 to multiply each term inside of the bracket here. Put back our plus sign. We're going to take this 3 to divide 6. That's going to give us 2. And we're going to take 2 to multiply our numerator here. So we'll put a bracket. And we'll put 4x minus 12. At this stage again, we're going to apply the distributive property or law, which is to take whatever is outside of the bracket to multiply each term. So here, we're now going to take this 3 to multiply 10, and we're also going to take 3 to multiply positive 5. We're also going to take 2 here to multiply 4x, and we're also going to take 2 to multiply negative 12. Alright? So 3 times 10x, that's going to give us 30x. And 3 times positive 5, that's going to give us positive 15. And 2 times 4x, that's going to give us a positive 8x. And 2 times negative 12, that's going to give us a negative 24. And all of this should be placed over 6. At this stage, what we're going to do is to group the like terms or combine the like terms, right? So here, we're going to add the x terms together. So here we have 30x plus 8x, that's going to give us 38x. And here we have 15 minus 24, that's going to give us a negative 9. And all of this should be placed back over 6. And we are finished here. The fraction is in its lowest term. So now to our final question. I'm going to show you a different approach to this question since it is similar to this one. So what we could do is to go ahead and find the common denominator first. And the common denominator of 3 and 7 would be 21. Then we're going to take this 7 to divide 21. That's going to give us 3. and we're going to take that 3 to multiply on my numerator. So I'm going to write my numerator first, which is 2 times 3x plus 1 in bracket, and I'm going to multiply it by 3. Alright? So here, I'm going to put back my subtraction sign, and then I'm going to take this 3 to divide 21, and that's going to give me 7. And I'm going to take that 7 to multiply my numerator here. So it's going to be 4, open bracket, 2x plus 1, close bracket, times 7. So now, here, remember that this bracket implies multiplication. So we can multiply 2 times 3 first, and then take that result to distribute it to each term. So 2 times 3, that's going to give us 6. So what we're going to have here is 6 times whatever is inside of the bracket, which is 3x plus 1. Here, we're going to multiply 7 times negative 4, and that's going to give us negative 28, times the bracket here, which is 2x plus 1. And all of this over our common denominator of 21. At this stage now, we're going to apply the distributive law, which is take what is on the outside to multiply each term on the inside. So let me just draw the arrows to show you. We're going to take the 6 to multiply the 3x. We're going to take the 6 to multiply the positive 1. Because there's a minus here, we have to treat this as a negative number. So we're going to take negative 28 to multiply positive 2x, and we're going to take negative 28 to multiply positive 1. So at this stage, 6 times 3x, that's going to give us 18x, and 6 times positive 1, that's going to give us positive 6. This stage now, remember to treat this as a negative number, so it's going to be negative 28 times 2x, that's going to give us negative 54x, right? Then it's going to be a negative 28 times a positive 1, which gives us a negative 28. We'll put back all of this over a common denominator of 21. At this stage now, you can do an additional step, which is to group the like terms, right, and then combine. But I am just going to highlight the like terms for you to see and just combine it. So here we have an 18x and I have a minus 54x. These are like terms. And I also have a plus 6 and a minus 28. So these are like terms. It means that they can be added or subtracted. So positive 18x minus 54x, that's going to give us a negative 36x. And positive 6 minus 28, that's going to give us a negative 22. And all of this is divided by 21. At this stage, we cannot combine or simplify the numerator any further because we have two different terms. They are not the same thing. So the fraction here is already in its lowest form. So we're finished. Thank you for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and